morning, everyone. Okay, last session we discussed about the Tomcat folder structure, and we discussed how to install the Tomcat server. And okay, okay, fine. Today we'll discuss about the HTTP protocol. HTTP, HTTP protocol. What does it mean by HTTP protocol? Meaning hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, HTTP protocol. We'll discuss about the HTTP protocol. What does it mean by HTTP protocol? First one is hypertext. HTTP meaning hypertext transfer protocol. Hypertext transfer protocol. Okay. Okay. What is the purpose of the HTTP protocol? HTTP protocol is act as a mediator in between the client and server. Okay, client and server. So it is used to act as a mediator between server and client and server. Okay, so I will show you how it should be. We'll get the clarity. So this is the last tree diagram. Okay, here we have the server. This is the server, and here we have the this is the client, and this is the server. This is the server. Okay, and for example, I would like to write here. This one is client. I'm going to increase the font size. This one is client, and this one is server. Okay, this one is server. Like whenever you send the request will goes to the server. How the request it will goes to? So we have the one mediator. The mediator is HTTP protocol. So that should be like this. For example, there is one bridge in between client and server. Here we have the HTTP protocol and network. HTTP protocol and network. So network is mandatory while sending the request. HTTP network is mandatory. Network is mandatory while sending the request. Network plus HTTP protocol. HTTP HTTP protocol. Are you guys clear with my point? Client meaning users. Users are clients are comes under the, like whoever is sending the request, those are comes under the client category. When the clients send the request, so the request we have the network plus these two are mandatory for sending the requests from client to server. So in the last session we seen about the some Zoom application. So I will show you some Zoom application. So whenever you are trying to send the request goes to, for example, if I open the Zoom app, and if I open the Zoom app, so if you hit everything, so the request will go to the Zoom server, and then it will process the and it will return the response. It will return the response. Okay. For example, if I click on the products, and it is having uh, like uh, some drop downs here, and if I open if you open anything, so what will happen? New page is coming. New page is coming, meaning like we are sending the request to the server. Whenever you are sending the request to the server process our request, and Server returns our based on the request. Server generate the response and server will send the response. Okay, server will send the response. This environment is called client. From which from like where you are sending the request, that is called client. Client. Okay, whenever you are sending the request, whenever you are sending the request, that should be like our client. Our browser will create one object. Our browser will create one object. Are you guys clear with my point? Once again, guys. Okay. For example, here you are sending like some like a meeting page. Okay, whenever you are hitting this page, then what will happen? Our client will create one object. Our client will create one object. That object is a request object. That object is request object. So this is the request object. This one is the request object. Are you guys clear with my point? Whenever you are sending, whenever you are hitting some URL, then immediately what will happen? Internally our browser will create one request object. That request object will send from client to server with the help of network plus http. Network plus http. Okay, so once the request will goes to the server, what the server will do? Server is the program which will take the request and process the request and return the response. Return the response. Okay, it will return the okay. It will after executing the request and return the response in the form of response object. So server also will create immediately one object, that is the response object. That is the response object. This one is the response object. Response object. Are you guys clear with my point? Whenever client send the request, immediately our browser will create immediately one request object. That request object will move from client to server with the help of the mediator. So the mandatory things are network plus http. Okay, network plus http. So while sending, these two are mandatory. Network is mandatory, http methods is mandatory. HTTP methods is mandatory. So our client will create one request object. That request object will goes from client to server. So like server is also program which will take the request and process the request and it will return the response. It will return the response. Okay. Inside server we have the our web application. Inside server we have our web application. Our web applications app.js. Okay, this is clear, guys. So HTTP protocol is divided into two parts. Divided into two parts. One is client and second one is client and second one is the server. Second one is the server. Second one is the server. Client meaning like the user, like whoever is sending the request. So those are comes under the client, and whoever is taking the request and processing the request and returning the response is called server. Okay, server. So after this, here we have the HTTP. HTTP we have the methods. So we have the HTTP methods like below. We have the HTTP methods like below. What are the HTTP methods basically? HTTP methods are like we have the get method. and we have the I would say put method, and we have the like delete method, delete delete method, and set the set method which is used to get method which is used to get the data from the server, get the data from the server. Okay, and put method which is used to insert the data into the server, to insert the data into the server, into the server. Next, delete method which is used to delete the data, to delete the data from the server, from the server. Basically, whenever you are sending the request, so HTTP get method, these methods will be performed backend, like get method, put method, and delete method. Delete method. These are calls like we have a lot of methods. So among those, we will use these all the methods. These methods: get method, put method, delete method. Okay, this is clear, guys. So whenever you are sending the request, again it will create an object, and that object have internal components. That object will have the internal components like this. So I will draw the diagram. So this is the request object, and this is the response object. This is the request object, and this is the response object. So every object is having the four parts. This is the part number one, and part number two, and part number three, and part number four. In the same way, response object also having four parts actually. One, two, three, four. Okay, three, four. This one is the request object. Okay, this is this is a request object. This is a request object. This is the request object. Okay, this one is the response object. This one is the response object. Okay, now this every object is have the four parts. First part name is the, this is the request line, request line. Okay, this is the request line, and second one is, here we have the request header, a request header, and here we have the empty line, and here we have the body, a request body. Here we have the request body. In the same way, here also same thing. This is the request body, and this is the response. Server will create the response object. This response object is also having the four parts. One is the response, response line. This is the header, response header, and third one is the empty line. Third one is the empty line, and fourth one is the response body. Fourth one is the response body. Okay, okay, fine. So it is having, whenever I would say request line is having, request line is having network plus, network plus I would say HTTP methods. Okay, it might be get method, it might be put method, it might be delete method, any methods, any methods. Okay, next, a request header. A request header is having the metadata. What does it mean by metadata? Metadata meaning data about data about data, meaning data about it, it is having the information about the body. Okay. Next, empty line meaning it is the simply space. This is the simply space. Empty line meaning simply blank space. Okay. Next, request line is having our business logic. Request body, whatever the business logic you have written, so that business logic will be available in the request body. So that's why you can call this the payload. Payload is the input of the object. Okay. Basically, every object is having the four parts. Whenever you are sending the request, that request is having the four parts: a request line, a request header, empty line, a request object. Okay. Whenever the request line is having the network HTTP, and request header is having the metadata, and empty line meaning blank space, and request body meaning payload. In the request body we have the our business logic. Everything we will keep inside the request body. Okay. In the same way here also it is having methods, http methods, message status code, message status codes. We have the status code, and whenever you send the request to the like server, if it will take the request, process the request. If it is not there, it will send the message status code. It will send the message status codes. Okay. Next, response header also. Here we have the metadata metadata meaning data about data. Here we have the information about the body. Okay. Response body. Next, empty line meaning just a blank space. And next we have the response body meaning, so based on the request it will generate the response, and that response, the server, it should keep inside the response body. This is the payload. Okay. Are you guys clear with my point? Every object again it is divided into four parts. Whenever you are sending the request, our client will create immediately, it will create one request object. Immediately it will create a request object. That request simply it will goes to the server. So again here what will happen? Again here, immediately server also immediately it will create two objects actually. Server also, this is the server is also immediately it will create two objects. So one object is based on the request, second one is based on the response. Are you guys clear with my point? This request is who is created this request? Our client will create this request. This request will goes to from client to server. When the request will goes to the server, immediately server it will create two objects. One is the request object, and based on the request, and it will create the response object. It will create the two objects immediately. One is the request object, and the second one is the response object. I will immediately it will create two objects. This is the first object, and this is the second object, and this object is the request object. This one is the request object, and second one is the response object. Second one is the response object. So every object is having four parts: request line, request header, empty line, request body. The request body. Next, response object is having a response line, and response header, empty line, and response body. Okay. Next, we have the HTTP status codes. So, whenever you are sending the request to the client, then it will give the some status codes. It will give the some status codes. So, what are the status codes? We'll try to understand here. These are the methods. Next, HTTP status codes. HTTP status codes. the code when I would say the error in between from like 100 to 100 to 199. Any error comes in between, like if you get like the error code in between it, then that is the informative error. That is the informative error. And the next one we have the like 2xx xxx is called we can say success code error, success code error, success code error. Meaning you will get the error in between 200 to 299, 200 to 299. You will get any error in between to this number 200 to 299. That meaning is success code error. Whenever you are sending the request, so server is processing the request and it will return the response successfully, then it will give the successive code. Okay. Next 300 300, so 300 to 399, that is the redirectional error. Redirectional code, redirectional code, redirectional code meaning redirectional code meaning you are trying to access the path with some URL, but it is redirected to another path, redirecting to another path. So in that situation it will give the error 300 to 399, 300 to 399. And next one is the 4xx. Next one is the 4xx. 4xx is the, I would say, client side errors. Client side, client side errors. Uh, Client side errors. Meaning, if you are trying to hit the like wrong path, then immediately it will throw the errors in between 400 to 499, 400 to 499, 400 to 499. Meaning, so any number you are getting as a message code in between the 400 to 499, so that issue is related to the client side error. Client side error. And next one is the server side. Next one is the server side. Okay. So we have the server side error. So here the status code in between 500 to 599, 500 to 599, 500 to 599. So these are the status code we need to aware. One axis meaning informative code. The error might be 100 to 199, and second one is the 2xxs. That is the success code. It is in between 200 to 299. Third one is the 3xxs. It is this one is the redirectional, and it is in between the 300 to 399. And fourth one is the 4xxs, that is called client side error. It is in between the 400 to 499. And 5 double xx, it is the server side error. So we need to aware this is the theoretical part. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? So after this, simply I will go to my Eclipse and I will show you how to create the web dynamic project. I will open my Eclipse. Okay, you can open your Eclipse in our case, and you should create the dynamic project. For creating the dynamic project, first thing is perspective. We need to cross check the perspective. The perspective should be JW only, Java W only. Java W meaning Enterprise Edition, Java Enterprise Edition. If you want to make the dynamic web applications, you can change the perspective. You can open the perspective with Java W. Okay, Java W. Till now we did the programs on Java. Now you can switch from Java to Java W. Okay, Java W. After this, simply you can click on like file, and here we have the option new, and after that you can select the web dynamic project. File, file, new, click on web dynamic web project. Dynamic web project. Okay, if you click on it, it will open the dashboard. Here you can give the your project name, your project name. Like here I would like to give some, okay, anything you can give, any name you in your wish. After that, it will ask, it will ask the server. We need to target the runtime, we need to add the tomcat server. So in the drop down, we need to give the tomcat, we need to give the tomcat, and then next step. Okay, and then next step, and then finish. If you want to create the generate web.xml, you can click on it. If no need, you can leave that one. This is not this one, this is optional, this is not mandatory. Okay, okay, I am finishing. So only these are the steps for creating the web dynamic project. Are you guys clear with my point? Simply click on it, new dynamic web project, new dynamic web project, and here we should give the project name. Okay, project name. Are you guys clear with my point? So these are the steps for web dynamic project. Okay. So after this, we'll try to understand the folder structure of the project. So my project name is the oak. If I open the oak, this is the project structure. This is the project structure. Okay. In the project structure, if I open the SRC, if I open the SRC, SRC meaning source file. In the source files, it is having two parts basically. Main, under the main, we have the Java and web apps. Basically, the front end technologies like CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. So these, if you want to write for our web application, we should keep the files inside the web app. Web app is the folder which is used to organize the front end technologies. Front end technologies. Okay. Java. Java is the project which is used to Java is the folder which is used to organize the backend. Web app is the front end. Java is the backend. Java is the backend. And next, we have the resources. We have the resources. Like if I open the libraries, if I open the libraries, these all are, these much of I would say the jar files are available. These are predefined. Okay, these are predefined. They will come by default at the time of object creation. Object creation. This is the folder structure basically. Dynamic web project. Whenever you open the dynamic web project, you will get the folder structure like this. You will get the folder structure like this. Okay. Java resources. Under the Java resources, we have the libraries, and build meaning. Here are some configurations. If you want, you can add here. And in the SRC folder, we have the uh, two parts. One is the backend, second one is the front end. So front end technologies, we should keep inside the web app. Okay, front end technologies we should keep inside the web app. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay, fine. Now, so we'll start. For example, you can take any file. So in my case, I'm taking one file. That is, I would say, a new file.html. Okay, this is the file I am creating inside the web app. Inside the web app. So inside here in the body, I am writing like this. I am mentioning. some I would like to, I'm taking the H1 tag, and here I would like to mention welcome to search. Okay, I have written the some dummy pages where this page is available. Basically every project start with one file, that is the start index.html. Every success we start with one step. In the same way, every project we can start with one file, that is the index.html. That is the index.html. Okay, so we need to server where the server is available. The server is available inside the server. Last in the last video we download the Tomcat server. The Tomcat server is available in our downloads. How to configure the Tomcat server to our I would say Eclipse ID. This is the ID, and the Tomcat server is available in our local. So we need to map, we need to integrate Tomcat server to ID. So how will you configure? Meaning, simply you can open the window, and we'll be having the show view option. Here we can select the servers. You can click on the servers. Whenever you click on the servers, the server option, you will get the server option should be like this. You will get the server option like this, and there we have the option add the server. Add the server. If you it will ask the please add the server. There you should give the path where your Tomcat server is available. Where your Tomcat server is available. So after that, your Tomcat server is added, and after that we need to start the server. How will you start? Click on the Tomcat server, and we need to start the server. We need to start the server. So my server is starting, and my server is started. My server is started. And after the started your server, whatever the file you want to deploy inside the server, simply click on that. I would say click on that file, and you can run on server. Run on server. So we need to select the I would say Servlet server. Welcome site. Are you guys clear with my point? What I'm doing? If you observe here, if you observe this path, this is the local host, meaning our local machine. Next to 8080 meaning my server default port number. The server default port number. If you don't like it, 8080, you can change also. Where we change? We have the server Apache Tomcat server settings. There you can change port number. Okay, and the third one is Oka. Oak is the project name, and this one is the file name. This one is the file name. Okay. Here we have some where we discuss some errors. Some errors. For example, the same this path. I will open my Tomcats. I would say my Postman. So in the Postman, we can check like the request object parts or the I would say response body parts. So I will open the Tomcat server. So this is the Tomcat server. Now what I am doing, I am pasting the path and I am sending. These are the methods: get method, put method, post method, patch method, delete method. These many methods are available. Okay, I am sending the request. When I am sending the request, now you guys observe. This is the response object, and this one is the request object. So in the request object, we have the headers. So in the headers, we don't have add anything. And if in the authentication, so in the header, have the body. So body also, I would say what I'm saying, this is the URL, and with the help of this URL, we are sending the request to the server. Okay, whenever you send the request to the server immediately it will create two objects. One is the request, second one is the response. This is the response. This is the response. Now you guys observe what is the status code is here. 200. 200 meaning. Can you please read this one? Standard response for successful HTTP requests. HTTP request. So actual response will depends on the request method used. Get request. Okay, get request. For example, if I am trying to hit some like wrong pattern, like new files, so I'm changing. We have the new file, but we don't have the new files. Now, if I try to send, I'm hitting some wrong path. So if I try to hit the wrong path, now you can see 404 and 404 issue. Why mean it? Client meaning you are only giving the wrong path. Okay, you are giving the wrong path. So such kind of errors you can say client side errors. Are you guys clear with my point? Postman is the tool which is used to like methods. Post a method, put the method. These many methods are available. These methods are available, and in the request line, so we can cross check. The request line we can cross check. This is the request, and this is the response. This is the response status code. Response status code. Are you guys clear with my point? So till now, what I did in the under the web apps, I have created one like .html. We can take anything. If you have good knowledge on like JS, you can take JS file and you can write the JS. So any front end technologies, you can take the file, you can write the file, and you can deploy into the server. You can deploy into the server. How will you deploy? Wherever the file is there, simply click on the file and you can deploy. You can deploy. You can run on the server. Or else simply you can click on the project. Simply you can click on the project and simply click on the project and you can run as a server, run on server. Then our entire the project is deployed into the server. Next step is we need to give the build path. Build path. Simply you can click on the project and we have the build option, build path, and here we need to add the libraries. We need to add the libraries. We need to add the libraries. So in the libraries section, we need to add the libraries. Yeah, here you have the libraries. Simply you can click on the add external jars, and in the Tomcat server itself, we have downloads Tomcat server and Apache and libraries. Inside the libraries, we need to give the servlet API.jar. Servlet API.jar. This is also mandatory step. Servlet API.jar. We need to select this one. Servlet API.jar. Servlet API.jar and then apply and then close. Okay. Apply and then close. So whenever you added this jar only, then only you can able to write the servlets. Why? Because these are the predefined classes are available. Predefined classes are available. With that, you can access. Okay. I am applying this one and I am closing this one. Are you guys clear with my pointer? This is the project structure. Project structure. Okay. And after the project structure, we already aware of how to create the project. And after the creating the project, we need to aware project structure. So inside the project structure, I have taken one dummy file, that is the .html file, and inside the .html file, I have written some welcome search, and this file only I am deploying into the server. Deploying into the server. So simply you click on it, run as server, then it will comes, it will open like this. It will open like this. Welcome Sarji. It will open like this. So this path is localhost, meaning server is available in your local only. 8080 meaning port number. Oak is the project name, our web application name, and this is our file name. This is our file name. Are you guys clear with my point? Localhost is the server is available in our local. 8080 is the port number, and I would say Oak is the name, web app name, our project name, and this is the file name. So any, like in the servlet scenario, we need to follow the URL pattern. We need to follow the same pattern only. We need to follow same pattern. First step, we need to mention the local host, port number, and web app name, and file name. File name. So we need to follow the same syntax only. If you're not following the same syntax, then you will get the 404 error. Okay. And after this, we have the servlets hierarchy. I will show you how the servlets hierarchy will be there. Servlets hierarchy. If I open the servlets hierarchy, if I open servlets hierarchy, now you guys observe. Basically, servlet servlet is the predefined class. Okay, servlet is basically interface. Servlet is basically interface which will have the HTTP servlet, like generic is the one servlet, HTTP is the servlet, and servlet is the only interface remaining all of the class. Generic servlet is the class, HTTP servlet is the class, my servlet is the class. My servlet is the class. Are you guys clear with my point? Basically, servlet is nothing but normal Java classes only. But the servlet is having, I would say, servlet is the interface, and under the servlet interface we have the classes: generic class, http class, http servlet class, and my servlet class. At the time of servlet writing, we will extend the predefined classes. Predefined classes, why we are extending the predefined classes? These predefined classes having the methods like init method, service method, and destroy method. What the methods will do? The methods will take the process the request and return the response. Return the response. Are you guys clear with my point? These predefined classes is having three methods: init method, service method, and destroy method. In some interviews, they will ask like servlet lifecycle also. Servlet lifecycle also same: init, service, and destroy. So whenever you are creating the servlet, so whenever you are deploying one file into the server, then our servlet will be initialized, and after that it will give the some service. So finally it will be destroyed. Life cycle of the servlet also same three steps: init, init, service, and destroy. This is the hierarchy. Servlet interface, and under the servlet interface we have the classes: generic servlet class, http servlet class, my servlet class. These three are the classes, and this one is the interface. Servlet is the interface. Servlet is the interface. These three are the classes: generic servlet, http servlet, my servlet. My servlet. Okay. Okay, so simply I am going to my the Java, and I'm click on the new, and you can create the package, or you can directly take as a servlet. So till now we are selecting the class, and we are I would say what I'm saying, selecting the class and we are creating the servlet. From today onwards, simply what you will do, we can search for the servlets, and we'll get the servlet option. We can select the servlet, and here we should give uh, the package name. You can give, I am giving in my case basic programs. Okay, basic programs, and here we should give the some servlet name, class name. Servlet is nothing but Java classes only. Okay, here you can give any name, test you can give, demo you can give, demo, and I am selecting this one. So you can observe superclass, it is taken by default as the HTTP servlet class. Why? Because so compared to remaining, this is the servlet hierarchy. In the servlet hierarchy, you can develop the servlet with the help of generic servlet, and with the help of my servlet, with the help of HTTP. Among those three classes, this one is the recommended. This one, this one is the recommended. In case of if you go with the generic servlet approach, we are getting some issues. With my servlet also we are getting some issues. That's why at the time of writing the servlet, we need to should use HTTP servlet only. This is the recommended way. This is the recommended way. That's why in at the time of creation the servlet also, it is taking the by default HTTP servlet only. Why? Because this is the default one. This is the default one. Are you guys clear with the point? And then next, and like in the last steps, every servlet having the mapping. We need to map. Every servlet is having one URL for uniquely identifying the servlet. So now you guys observe URL mapping. So by default, it will give like as the class name. If you don't want to this one, you can change based on your requirement. Based on the based on your requirement. This is the mapping. Mapping meaning this servlet is having the business logic. How will you access that business logic? With the help of this URL mapping. With the help of this URL mapping. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay, so simply I am using the same that one, and the next, and the methods, whatever the methods you want, you can select. We have the init method, digital method, service method, all the methods are available. Okay, whatever the methods you want, you can select. So in my case, I would like to take the only to get method. I am taking the to get method. So web project demo, and so we'll try to this one. This is the get method. This one is not required from to here. Import the statements, and this one also not required. Web servlet, HTTP servlet. We need to import the package. This package is importing where this is available. Basic programs and demo.java. Public class extend demo.java. I'm stopping this one. Okay, we need to set the path. I have set the path already. Why it is showing the error? Build path, configure the build path, and here I would say you can add it the which is available Tomcat 9, and the server information Tomcat 9. Okay, Now what you will do, simply clicking, okay, fine, we'll try with another project, some dynamic web project I'm taking. So inside the dynamic web project, we would like to uh, take a new, so I would say we'll create the servlet. Okay, here we should give the package name, basic programs. Okay, next here we should give the name, the class name you can give. In my case, I am giving the test is the class name, and then next, and then URL mapping next, and we can give the like do get method, and the file should be like this. The file should be like this. Okay, now we remove all these things. These all are not required. Okay, these all are not required. These all are not required, and so throws IO exception is fine. Now what you will do, response is the object. Response is the object. So from the response we are getting the data. How will you get the data? Response is the object. You can take the response and you can get the data like this. Response dot, we have the predefined methods. Get I would say get writer method. Get writer method which is used to get the data from the object, and this object I am storing in some reference variable. You can take any reference variable name, and this reference variable data type is the print writer. So I am taking the print writer. I would like to write the print writer. Okay, we need to import the print writer, and then we can pass some with the help of this reference variable. You can pass some dummy message like append print writer. You can take anything. So here I am mentioning some dummy message. The dummy message is, I would like to mention, welcome to servlets. Okay, welcome to servlets, and then you can save the file. And this file you want to deploy, you can click on the file. We need to stop the previous server. Okay, so server already stopped. Now we need to start the server. Start the server. Demo.java. So the server is started, and after the server started, we can deploy this file into the server. So simply you can click on it, run on server, and we can deploy the file. Select the Tomcat server, and then next. So you will get initially this kind of error. Basically, we need to follow the structure. What is the structure? Uh, First thing is localhost colon port number, and after that web project, and after that URL pattern. URL pattern. So in our case, the URL pattern is this one only. URL pattern is this one. Can come here, localhost, port number, and a dynamic web project, and then desktop. Now you guys observe, this one is the port number. We need to follow the same standards. Okay, localhost 8080 and your project name. This is your project name. Dynamic web project is your project name. After that, pattern, URL pattern. So every servlet is having the URL pattern, URL mapping pattern. With the help of that, we can hit the URL pattern. We can you are invoking the servlet. Yeah, you are invoking the servlet. Are you guys clear with my point? So I will explain one more time. We need to create the servlet. So how will you create the servlet? You should create the project or the project structure already you are aware. So after this, you can simply go your Java, and you have the basic programs. You can take the, I would say, package name. There I am telling servlet is nothing but normal Java classes only. Okay, normal Java classes only. Now, simply how it will be act as, I will show you some demo. Like normal Java class should be like this. Servlets is nothing but normal Java class only. Public class demo. Okay, this is the normal Java class. So we are converting this normal class Java class into the servlets. How will you converting? We are extending the properties. Extend the properties with the help of HTTP servlet. HTTP servlet class. Are you guys clear with my point? Whenever I am in, now my normal class is also acting like as the servlet. If not, this is a normal Java class. Are you guys clear with my point? Public class demo is the normal Java class only. Okay. Whenever I am extending the predefined class property, at the time only it will be act as a servlet. If not, it is normal Java class only. Are you guys clear with my point? Servlet is nothing but normal Java classes only. Now you guys observe, this is the normal Java class, or did I write something? Normal Java class only. Public class demo is the normal Java class. I am extending the predefined HTTP servlet. When I am extending the predefined HTTP servlet, at the time only our normal Java class will be act as servlet. Okay, our normal Java class will be act as the servlet. Are you guys clear with my point? The same thing I am doing here also. I am going here. We can search with servlets. We can search with servlets, and we can select the servlets, and you can give the class name. Okay, you can give the class name. Okay, I'm taking the test. Test already exists. We will take some another class. I would like to take Oka. This is the class name. Okay, class name, and this is the predefined class name. We are inheriting the properties from there to here. Whenever you are inheriting from there to here, then this normal class will be also act as the servlet. This normal class also inheriting the properties, and it will be also act as the servlet. Okay, next next, and this is the URL mapping by default, and I am clicking on the next, and these many predefined methods are available. HTTP methods, these methods are available. I am selecting the do get method, and then finish. Okay, and then finish. You will get like this. So we need to remove these all the things, and here also only do get is enough. This is the constructor. Constructor is not required, and now one our server has created the one response object. How will you fetch the? How will you retrieve the data from the object response object? We have the methods. The methods is, I would say, get writer, response dot get writer, response dot get writer, response dot get writer is the method, and so which is used to get the data from the object. Okay, we are storing. We are not able to directly use this object. We store this object in somewhere. That somewhere is pw. Pw is the variable name. You can give any name. Okay, you can give any name. For example, if I give the ss, you can give any name, and this variable data type is the print writer. Print writer. Okay, print writer, and we need to import the print writer, which is available in java.io package, and with that I am printing some dummy message ss dot append method, and here I would like to display the some message, some uh, data is coming from oak servlet. So whenever we are extending the properties, then oak is called one servlet. Normally, this is the class only, but whenever you are acting based on the properties, it is acting as a servlet. Now, OK is treated like as the one servlet. This is the one servlet, and inside the servlet, we will write the business logic, and we can invoke the servlet with the help of this pattern, with the help of this URL pattern. Okay, so data is coming from Oak servlet. Okay, I'm selecting this one, and I'm saving this one. I'm stopping the server, and again I'm starting the server. I'm starting the server, and okay, I'm starting the server, and now what I'm doing, I need to deploy. I need to deploy my servlet into the server. Okay, so simply you can right click on the server, and you can deploy. We can run on server, and we need to select the server, and you can finish. Okay, can finish. So simply what you will get, so it is deployed, and at the time of hitting we will get this kind. So can you please read this one? HTTP status code, what does it mean? 404 not found, meaning whatever the path you are hitting, the path is wrong. The path is wrong, so that's why it is showing the 404 error. Okay, that's why it is showing the 404 error. So what is the structure? You need to how will you invoke the path? First one is the mission localhost colon 8080. Next, project name. Project name you can say like application name. This is web application name. And third one URL. Every servlet has the unique URL. You can hit with URL. Okay. So in my case, oak is the URL. Now you guys observe, data is coming from the oak servlet. Whenever you are hitting the URL, we need to follow the same standard only. We need to follow the same standard. Localhost colon 8080, and then in the step number 2, project name. Third step, every servlet is having unique URL. Unique URL, you should take the URL. You should take the unique URL. Okay, are you guys clear with my point? So can you please all these points today, whatever the points we have discussed. So Tomcat folder structure we have discussed already in the last session. Okay, HTTP protocol. What does it mean by HTTP protocol? Next, between the client and server. Okay, next, divided into two types. Server. Okay, HTTP below methods. Below methods. To insert the data into the server. Delete method to delete the method. So not only these methods, we have multiple methods. So if I open the like postman, if I click on the drop down, these are the option methods: get method, post method, put method, patch method. These many methods are available. These many methods are available. Okay, among those, based on the requirement, we will use the methods. So basically, four methods are we will use regularly. Four methods are I would say these are the four methods. Okay, so this is also for updating or insetting. For updating, for updating the data. Okay. Next, we have the HTTP status code. What is the status code? Uh, we will get the code in between 100 to 199. That is the informative code. And you will get the 200 to 299 success code. And 300 to 399 redirectional code. And 400 to 499 client side code. And 500 to 599 server side code. Server side code. So with this, like we should aware like how to create the servlet, and how to the I would say deploy our project into the servlet, and how to run our file. How to run our file. Are you guys clear with my point? So this is the complete theoretical part you should aware while writing the servlet. While writing the servlet, you should completely aware. Like now you guys observe, like in the last session, now we started like steps to develop the web application. Did we followed all the steps? You guys please look at once. First is server setup. So server setup done or not done? Done. Next, second one, create dynamic project. So that we done or not done? Done. Next, third step. Third step is set up the build path for required libraries. This one is done or not done? Done. Fourth one, create servlet classes for handling the request and response. So servlet class we created or not created? Created. Servlet classes is normal classes only. So we will take the properties, parent class properties. Whenever you take the parent class properties, then normal Java class will also act as the servlet. Okay. Next, fifth step. So every servlet have the URL pattern. With the help of that URL pattern, we can invoke the servlets. So we can invoke the servlets. Okay. Next, now this is the note point you should remember. Every servlet has the one unique URL pattern. With the help of unique URL pattern, we can access the servlets. Okay. Next, compile the servlet dot class files and package. If it is .jar, you can package if it is standalone, you can package like as the .jar. If it is standalone, you can package like as the .var. .var. Next, server setup. Like the server is available in our local, we need to configure the server from your local to IDE, your local to ID. So simply what you will do, simply you can come here, and we can click on the window, and we have the option that is the show view, and here we have the servers option. If you double click on it, it will be added the drop down like this. It will be added the drop down like this, or it will be added here. Anywhere it will be added. So whenever you add it, there it will be show the error. There it will ask, please add the Tomcat server. Okay, please add the Tomcat server. If you click on it, your server you can add. Okay, okay. Simply you can click on the Tomcat server path, and after that, you can start the server. So I will share this entire file. Just go through it, and I will share the video as well.